guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm really excited because guys, I have a video for you guys that I don't even know if I've ever seen a video like this. I feel like I kind of have like seen like decluttering videos. I have all of my makeup palettes right here, all of them. I decluttered all of my makeup drawer. I don't know if you guys knew that this whole Alex 9 drawer is all of my makeup. I threw away 17 eyeshadow palettes. Big ones, small ones, long ones, fat ones, I don't know. 17. Literally, guys, I Marie Kondo that thing because honestly, guys, where's the Marie Kondo episode of clean out your makeup? I'm a hoarder when it comes to makeup, but I also know that makeup is like, well, I feel like everything has an expiration date, right? Like all makeup expires, but I feel like when you see a foundation, it just stops working. When it comes to like eyeshadows, you're just kind of like, I don't know about these. But guys, I got rid of high-end makeup, low-end makeup, drugstore makeup, all the makeup. I don't know what hurt more. This palette that I had from Dior. I mean, I had like foundations and things like that. They're probably way more expensive. Or like all of my naked palettes. I got rid of all of them except for one, but we'll get into why I kept one. So I have them all here and let's get started. So I don't even know where I want to start because there's so many of them. I kept my naked Urban Decay palette, but I will never put this on my eyelids. It's simply for memories because this palette is discontinued and it was one of my like literally guys like hi how are you? I use up so many colors. These colors literally like I can never, should I swatch or just show like the fun of it? Like I'm not gonna put this on my face, but like I don't think like bad, honestly not that bad as much as people were like hating on these colors. I wouldn't even sentimental values. Never buy this kind of a palette now because it's so overpriced and insane for the amount of colors. Like I feel like there's only one really look you could do with this, and I feel like I always did that, just that one look when I had this palette. I mean, I have it, but when I used it. But guys, genuinely, keep it for sentimental values. This was discontinued. It's gone forever. Don't judge me too hard. But I got rid of all its friends and families, and I have every single naked basic Urban Decay palette. Honestly, guys, I spent all my money. Like I would like save up so much money just to get like a $50 eyeshadow palette. See if I can name them all. I had obviously Naked 1, Naked 2, Naked 3, the 2 basic ones, the Naked on the Run, the Smoke palette. I feel like they made another one, but it wasn't before the Heat palette. I didn't get the Heat palette because like those are one of their newer ones. There was another one like in the dark or something like that. I don't remember. Came out with a different quad that was all rainbowy. I don't know why I had that one. I gave it to one of my cousins one time because like honestly guys, I never use rainbowy eyeshadows. I kept my very first one. I feel like I may have got Naked 2 first for some reason, but I never knew what happened to Naked 2. Like I got her, I used her, and sis, she disappeared. Because I never threw her away that I think of, but all the rest of them, they all had to go. I did go through a little satisfying phases of just like destroying all the pans. Next palette that I'm keeping that I'm never gonna use on my eyelid is this. Like I don't use this at all. I feel like, what the heck just fell out of here? I'm keeping this, I was gonna say Too Faced, what is this? The Balm Bon Voyage palette because I got this at my very first YouTube event that I went with my network. So I feel like I may have used just like the highlighter, and this is one of the first things I had that had like highlighter in it, and I like destroyed the highlighter. You can see the colors. I didn't really use much of this, maybe just that highlighter and that blush, but never even touched these lip things. They are kind of scary to look at, I'm not gonna lie. Super disgusting, but just for sentimental value, I'm keeping this, just like my Naked one, because it was like the first palettes that I got, and this is the first one that I ever got at any YouTube event. Like I've thrown away other palettes that I've gotten at other events and things like that. It's just this was the very first event that I went to, and I had to keep her for that because it's just memories, but I would never like use this. I want to do something where like maybe I just like rip off this part and like display them somewhere. They're kind of dirty, but I don't want to do that either. Those are the only 2 palettes that I own that I will never use that are like the old palettes. The rest of these palettes are like up to date. I don't think like maybe the oldest palette here is between Kylie, so we're talking like recent years. Like I'm telling you guys, when I purged, I purged. So between Kylie and a Morphe palette that I have, which Morphe did I get first? Alright, I don't know. It's a battle between these two. Who came first? The chicken or the egg? I'm gonna go with Kylie may have gone first. No, definitely Morphe. I'm gonna go with Morphe first because I feel like she came out first. I don't know. But I got the Morphe with Kathleen Lights. I have a lot to say about this palette. First of all, this was the first Morphe palette I ever tried in my entire life. And I had huge problems with it because a couple of colors did not swatch. I don't know if you guys saw my video back then, but Morphe literally saw the video and they were like, girl, give us that palette, we're sending you a new one. So they were like super nice about it. I really only like this mustard color. I feel like this is the palette that I was most hyped on getting that I literally felt like I never used. Still good, and I keep her more for the sentimental value that this was Kathleen's first palette that I ever purchased. because like this is kind of where I found out about Kathleen. It's not a palette that I'm like loving. Like it feels like she's getting kind of old. But I kept her because I don't really know why. I felt like I got rid of like billions and billions and billions of dollars of makeup. Not really, but you know what I mean. So I kept her, but now that I'm looking at her, I'm like, sis, I just feel like there's something about Morphe eyeshadows. I have 2 Morphe palettes and I just feel like they start to look old and I don't know why. And it's not like I'll still use these. I just stare at them and I'm like, why do you guys just start looking old when like I barely touch them? They look kind of new. Keeping her because I could still use her technically. She's not that old. Don't judge her. She's fine. Kylie's bronze palette. I got so much love into this palette. I used up this palette so much. I, to this day, do my eyebrows with these 2 colors. I mix them both together. Those are the only 2 colors I ever use on my eyebrows. I use the most out of this palette. Do I use any of these colors now? No, they've all gotten messed up. My fault. Because these 2 have hit these other colors whenever I like do my brows. But my favorite color was definitely this one. I forgot the name, I can't even look it up. I guess I could talk about this one. I'm not talking about them in order, I guess, really. But I got this palette once this one launched. And supposedly this color is this color. But I don't feel like they are the same for some weird reason. Whenever I use this palette, I gotta be very careful because she's a mess. I used her so much, but I'm keeping her because, well, I do my eyebrows with her, so. Now, I kind of lost date now on where we were, but after that palette, I definitely got Kylie's holiday palette. Now, this is a palette that I regret getting, just because I'll be completely honest with you guys, I didn't even touch her. She was not touched at all. Like, I literally can tell you I use this color only, and then maybe some of this color, but this is probably my palette that is like, the one who has not been used or loved that much. But just, she's not colors that I would use. Like maybe during the holidays, that's why it's called the holiday palette, but they're not colors that I'm like obsessed with. Next, since we are on Kylie, I will talk about Kylie's extended bronze palette. When this was launching, I was so ecstatic. I was so excited. I filmed a video on it. I love the colors. But I'm in this moment that I feel like we are so ahead in the makeup game. Like I could get a $6 palette that is just as good, if not even better, than like a $50 palette. It is what it is. I never really used her. Like I thought I had used her way more. They weren't that creamy. They weren't that great. And I feel like I'm being so harsh in this video. I have so many similar colors in my collection. They're just so much easier to work with. I just feel like Kylie's eyeshadows are a little stiffer than something like an Anastasia. I wish I would have used her more. I mean, I still have her. She's still good. I'm not expired. I'm keeping her. Jaclyn Hill Morphe. This is the other Morphe palette that I own. I got this before I really like watched Jaclyn's. I thought this was a perfect transition because I was trying to get into color, but I still loved all of my like nudes. Like literally all of my nudes. I actually used a lot of this palette. I still do sometimes. Like I used a little bit of this color in my eye today, a bit of this girl, but I don't know what it is. She looks perfectly fine in the viewfinder, but there's something about Morphe shadow. They get a little old looking and I don't know why, but there's so many amazing looks you could do with this eyeshadow palette. So this is one that I would recommend. It's so not a traveling palette and I travel a lot. I recommend those smaller palettes she did, and there was some controversy. They took it down, they brought it back. I don't really know much about it. I don't know why I'm tripping over that. I feel like Morphe eyeshadows look weird after a long while. I don't know why. Don't know why. Maybe just because I'm so obsessed with what I have now. Next are 2 palettes that I personally don't use on an everyday basis, but I love. I have a couple of their other ones that I have unopened because I want to do giveaways on them. Just because I feel like the quality of these eyeshadows are actually really good, and they're just like an indie brand, and they're called Carity. But I'm never going to use colors like these. It's just, I don't like rainbow colors. They're not for me. But I have used these to make like random looks. I do like the quality of these eyeshadows. But they're just not eyeshadows that I'm obsessed with. I'm not a rainbow gal. I'm not. Halloween, things like that, makeup looks that I want to do, I do use these. But guys, I love this one. This is their pink palette, and I do like these. Like, guys, here, let me swatch. Like, look at that. The quality is good. I don't know why I don't see that many people talk about Carity. Look. I don't know if you guys could just like, that color is just everything. I love it. I will say though, but I feel like this just happens with any eyeshadows that are this bright, but this pink color right here, Fun Day, she gonna stain your eyelids. If not, ask my niece, because she was messing with that and had pink eyes for a really long time. She was hiding from me, but this is definitely going with my Sentimental Value ones that I'm not gonna throw away because this is the first time I ever worked with Maybelline. I love Maybelline, and I got to work with them, was it back in like 2012, 13? I don't remember. But they sent me the blush and nudes palette right before it launched. So whatever year that launched. And I love this because it reminded me a lot of the Naked 3 and just very affordable. And I'm always looking for like affordable dupes. This was one of the first times that I worked with them. They sent me their whole collection that year. And it was just like a whole bunch of makeup. I threw it all away already because it was all bad. But I just kept the eyeshadows because it's something that like I keep. And no one's going to try to like play with it and then have like something that doesn't really work anymore. That's just one of those other little sentimental value ones. Now, next I'm going to talk about an eyeshadow palette that I'm going to be honest with you guys. I love the pigments of these eyeshadows. They're just one of those palettes where it's like the palette is so good, but they're colors that I'll never use. And that is this Wanderlust from Flower Beauty. The colors are so good, guys. Here, I'm going to swatch. Look at that. It's just an amazing foily color. Hold on, let me see. Do you guys see that? Like, these eyeshadows are so good, but they're colors that I'll literally never wear. Like this blue. Like, if I could tell you guys how many palettes I own that have a random pop of blue or green, that I'm like, I know why. Second to last, I have my Soft Glam from Anastasia. I am obsessed with this palette. I am obsessed with it. This is the only high-end eyeshadow palette that I use. I've used every single color in it. I love it. It's just so versatile. It's a big palette, but it's small and you could travel with it. It's not super big like the Jaclyn one. I love these colors, and I feel like here I want to swatch. Look at Sultry, guys. Honestly, here, I'm going to swatch her right here. I'm obsessed with all of these colors, and it's definitely my top favorite out of all my eyeshadow. This is where the problem comes. This is where the problem is. I'm gonna try to put them in the order that I got them. I feel like I'm missing one for some reason. Weird, I feel like I'm missing one. Y'all, I don't know. ColourPop can do it every single time. I bet you these palettes are all the same, but I am obsessed with Kathleen. You guys already know that. She's one of my favorite beauty gurus on here. Probably the only one that I like listening to makeup, because I always love supporting my Latinas. So she came out with Dream Street, and I use her to this day. I don't know when I got her, I'll be completely honest with you guys, but I've used every single color in this palette, even the random pops that I'm telling you guys, this is where the random pop of colors come that I hate. But except for this pink color, I don't know why. It's just like if I need a pink, I'll never come to this. I don't know why, but that's the only color that is untouched, which is Spark. But I've used every other color in this palette. She was the first ColourPop eyeshadow palette that I love. You could tell by the packaging she's very much loved. I've like destroyed her. But Kathleen knew what she was doing with this. Don't know what she was thinking here, but I know what she was thinking here. And I definitely know what she was thinking here. I have no idea how she made this and she made these, because I'm obsessed with these. I like this. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. These eyeshadows are where it's at. ColourPop is my favorite eyeshadows of all time. They know what they're doing. They're affordable. It's just, y'all. So the other two ColourPop eyeshadow palettes that I have that are not collabs are Give It To Me Straight and Yes Please. I believe these are not collabs. I think I got these two together. I don't really remember, guys. When you order from ColourPop, your mind goes somewhere else, so you don't really remember things like that. But I love these so much. I honestly am obsessed with both of these. I'm obsessed with all the ColourPop eyeshadow palettes that I own. I love them so much. I can't get enough of them. There's one thing to say, I still use these. They're my favorite. I couldn't get rid of any ColourPop ones. I did want to compare something that so many people I saw online hated. And if you guys saw my favorites or haven't seen, I don't know what's gonna go up first. I think they were comparing these two. I don't even know, guys. Honestly, maybe a lot of these colors are similar and I'm losing my mind, but this was their collection with Becky G. I also picked up Kathleen's Zodiac palette, and I will not lie, never gonna touch these two colors because I don't really care for them. Like, this is the first time I've ever swatched Aquarius or the Pisces. But I cannot deal with that Taurus in my life. Taurus is my favorite transition color that I use all the time. I love this color so much. The Gemini is amazing, but this is probably the palette that I least use, just because I have so many other colors like this. But this is also the second to newest color, I believe, besides Salvaje. I got them around the same time, so I don't really use this palette. I really don't use this palette. But I do use Salvaje way more than I do use the Zodiac palette. But I love it. There's like certain colors that aren't in here that I need. Because I know you have Carmelo in here in the Taurus, but Taurus is way better than Carmelo. And I know that you have the Cancer in here, but Estrella is way better than that one. And you also have Luna in here, and you don't have a matte cream shadow in here, and it just bugs me. I need them both. And then I really like Corona, but I kind of like the Gemini better. And then you have Sagittarius, but I prefer Sangria. So don't compare these two palettes anymore because you need them both. I need them both. We're down to one last eyeshadow palette that I have.
Oh my god, no, she's dirty already. No.
I already got her dirty. We knew this wasn't gonna last. The last and the newest eyeshadow palette that I've gotten is the Brunch Date one from Zoella with ColourPop and Guy. Once again, ColourPop loves to throw in this random color of blue that nobody likes, just me probably, but I am obsessed with Sunday Fun Day. I barely touched it, guys. Literally, look at this. center on my lid today. I don't know if you guys can see my makeup today. I love this eyeshadow palette. It's like an everyday palette. There's one thing I could change about this palette, because I have nothing bad to say except for I hate this blue color, is that I would switch this ugly blue color for a matte cream shadow, because there's no matte creams in here, like cream colored. But I know people love their random pops of blue to do under their eye, and they're in a corner like it's like the thing right now. I don't like the random pops of blue. This was my eyeshadow collection. Just want to show you guys all my eyeshadow palettes. So this is all of them in a whole and what I've been using, what are my favorites. But honestly guys, the number one question I always get asked is, because I have a couple of ColourPop eyeshadows, is which one's your favorite? And I can't pick. Like, what I need to do is buy one of those Z palettes. Is that even what they're called anymore? Metal eyeshadow things where you could like put your own and then just take one from each thing, because I don't have a favorite, because I need them all. Like, I need a certain color for this look with this palette's other color. It's complicated. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Before this video is over, do not forget that I have a giveaway going on right now, so you guys can win one of these guys. I bought two because, like I said, I love ColourPop. Obviously, you guys could tell. So if you guys want to win it, I posted this picture on my Instagram. All you guys have to do is go to this picture on my Instagram, tag 2 friends, and comment your favorite brunch meal. Literally, that's easy, and just follow me. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you pretty faces in the next one. Bye guys.